My name is Sherizan Sheikh. I'm a UX designer at Grab. Been here for almost a year now. And yeah, that's it. I am working on a couple of web projects, basically for our customer service representative, which is what you mentioned before, the internal tools. So day to day, it's basically going through the whole flow of understanding who our users are first, because not just customer service uses it, because our operations team are also involved or using the internal tools. So what we do is basically going talk to them, ask about their pain points, mapping out our whole customer journey for them, which gives us opportunities to improve our services. And why this is important, because they use it every day, and for us to some sort make it meaningful to them or find out if the project is successful is based on how efficient they are. For our core users, it's definitely the customer service, because you get calls every day about the app or the service that we are running. So for them to find the information in the internal tool is critical. The information that they need to find to resolve issues are important for them. Sketch is really awesome. I know they've only been around for a couple of years, but the whole workflow of getting UI done is so much faster. I think the plugins that the community has, it's really powerful as well. That is something that Adobe kind of missed, or Photoshop kind of missed on that opportunity. Apart from Sketch, it works well with Craft, it works well with InVision. We are exploring a lot of different tools these days, so many tools out there. We just want to see which one works for us and how it could work together. So Zeppelin is one of them as well. I think that's about it. I try to find those projects that require code. I believe as a designer or as a UX designer, it's good to have these skills. Primarily, you use coding for prototyping. With this new design system that we are building, we require to build React components and all that. So having HTML, JavaScript, CSS skills is definitely a huge plus if you want to stick with the front end world. So Style Guides was introduced, or at least the brand guidelines or whatever you want to call it before, is to make sure the tone of voice of the company is there, the branding, the typography, the colors, so that as the company grows, you kind of have that as a reference. So at least when there's a lot of designers, you can use that as your single source of truth, or like a Bible. So that was back in the day where it wasn't really live, or it was pretty much static. But with design system these days, when React came about, when Bootstrap came about, when agile methodology came about, where you want something really quick and you want to execute things really fast, having a design system does help you achieve that in terms of efficiency, in terms of consistency. There's a lot of UX involved as well. Let's say like a default UX template, because every button you click does something. All the state changes are all kind of fixed for your company. So that's ideally what design system is. Because I started out freelancing 1999, 2000, when GeoCities came about. Hey, host your, build your own website in 5 minutes. So I started learning how to code from there. But before, I think HTML and JavaScript really went hand in hand. So it's kind of natural to learn HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Fast forward 2017, JavaScript has exploded into a huge ecosystem of its own. jQuery, with this React, ES 2016, or all this TypeScript that came about as well, post JavaScript. There's a lot of stuff to learn, but I was glad I knew the fundamentals of JavaScript, fundamentals of coding, to kind of grow into quite a competent enough coder, I might say. I did dabble into backend stuff, personal projects and all that, like trying to hook up with the database when you're doing some simple WordPress installations and all that to try to get your site up, deployment and all that. Yeah, it will be a great start. At least front end JavaScript is a really good, useful language to learn. Python as well. So Python is easy enough for you to learn, pick it up. I think in schools we are still stuck with Java and C++. But if you want to be this indie developer, I think JavaScript will be super useful.